The bicycle, the car, the railway, the plane. These inventions change the way we live, the way we move, the way we connect and interact. These inventions change the world. Together, we're about to change it again. Welcome to the dawn of a new age, the age of smart mobility and the future of innovative, creative, sustainable solutions that will transform the way we live forever. From water technology to intelligence and defense solutions, Israel is known around the world for being a powerhouse of advancement and innovation, successfully pioneering cutting-edge technology on a global scale. Nearly 6 years ago, Israel was among the first countries to recognize the growing global need for dedicated smart mobility solutions. Ever since, under the leadership of the Fuel Choices and the Smart Mobility Initiative in the Israel's Prime Minister's office, Israel has been spearheading this key enterprise, conducting a series of groundbreaking local programs and successful initiatives, including a first-of-its-kind in the world high-resolution mapping of major city routes to support smart mobility R&D, advanced large-scale field experiment and pilot projects, multidisciplinary research and enrichment centers, supporting technological developments and novel operational concepts, clean vehicles and fuels, fast and novel charging stations, overhead capsules, and next-generation batteries, along with existing achievements already gained. The Eric and Sheila Sampson Prime Minister's Prize, awarded for the 6th year in a row to scientists and researchers from around the world for innovation in alternative fuels for transportation, in the sum of $1 million. With over 35 pilots and demonstration projects, over $100 million that the government invested in R&D, EcoMotion, an entrepreneurial community dedicated to smart transportation solutions, and approximately $42 billion cumulative capital raised, Israel is a definite hub for smart mobility and a major player in this worldwide revolution. Smart mobility is the future. Smart mobility will change the world. Join us, and together, let's pave the way to a brighter, cleaner, better tomorrow.
Prime Minister, ministers, distinguished guests, good evening. I am honored to welcome you all to our gala dinner. My name is Yishai Golan. In the context of the summit on fuel choices and smart mobility, we are thrilled to see you all here tonight. Tonight is an opportunity to celebrate the tremendous success Israel and the world has been having in the field of mobility, of smart mobility. We here share a certain excitement when looking at the goals we have set for ourselves in the development of this field. It is clear that we are changing the world as we know it. This gala dinner, hosted by the Prime Minister, has two very important purposes. First, we shall grant the world's biggest prize for innovation in the field of alternative fuels for transportation, the Eric and Sheila Sampson Prime Minister's Prize, totaling $1 million. This year, the award will be shared by two researchers who have made critical advances in the field. The second purpose of this dinner is to create a setting where all players can connect the dots toward completing the revolution of smart mobility, exchanging knowledge aimed at reducing the world's dependence on oil. And now, for the award. We are about to grant the world's biggest prize for innovation in the field of alternative fuels for transportation and smart mobility. The Eric and Sheila Sampson Prime Minister's Prize is awarded yearly to outstanding individuals who have made critical advancements in the field. We wish to devote a few moments to express our thanks to the Samson family. Eric and Sheila Sampson are top international business leaders and philanthropists. They are highly devoted and committed to the State of Israel and the mission of Chaeronea. Their major charitable undertakings enable the advancement of important national and international initiatives. Foreseeing the importance of smart mobility and alternative fuel, they have devoted a tremendous amount of energy and care to create this outstanding prize that encourages the industry and helps change the world of transportation. In the name of Israel and the world, we wish to express our gratitude for your contribution. This prize and initiative will not only help reduce the world's dependency on oil, it will also help revolutionize transportation as we know it, making it greener and above all safer. And now, let's get to know our prize winners for this year.
I have always been interested in natural sciences. My father was a professor in industrial chemistry. That's one of the reasons why I got the opportunity as a child to see a little bit what chemistry is all about. I think in our company the most innovative research is related to our investigations and ideas around broadening the feedstock base in renewables and also then broadening the application base. So we basically take waste streams, upgrade these into really high quality pure hydrocarbon fuels. This is the largest refinery area in the Nordic countries. We are also producing here renewable diesel. So this car has been running on 100% renewable diesel. This is used also as a pure product by some of our biggest customers, like we have in California. And then we have been working heavily with the air industry, companies such as Lufthansa, where they have also tested our renewable jet fuel in one of their jet engines with very good, successful results. I think it's very important that we continuously strive for energy efficiency. That is the biggest way we can combat climate change.
The idea of being scientist was inspiring from the very beginning. I targeted toward scientific career. I was involved in the development of lithium-ion batteries, the technology which conquered the markets of batteries. First of all, for portable electronic devices, and then for more demanding purposes like electromobility, electric vehicles. We study the problem, we understand the obstacle, we understand what makes it better or worse. So I believe that in each lithium-ion battery there is some wisdom that came out of our studies. If we think about the energy economy, our vision is much broader than electromobility. We see very nice progress in the development of solar panels, in the development of wind turbines. Where is the problem? Storage. You have to supply continuous energy. You have to do it with good storage systems. So we are developing also batteries for large energy storage, which is a great challenge. We have now very nice affiliation with BASF, with GM, with LG, and together with other diligent scientists throughout the world, we made a technology available for use for billions of people. This is, from many points of view, an achievement of Israeli science.
To present the Eric and Sheila Sampson Prize of this year, I would like to call to the stage the Prime Minister of Israel, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu. I would also like to invite Israel's Minister of Science and Technology, Mr. Ophir Akunis. Professor Yitzhak Apiloig, Chairman of the Board of the Prize. Dr. Anat Bonstein, Chairperson and Director of the Fuel Choices and Smart Mobility Initiative. and representing the Samson family, Michael Silva. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the award, the winners of this year, Professor Lindfors and Professor Orbach.
הנה הצ'קים. פותחים צ'ק? אני מפתח לו משם. הנה הפתח. שהצלמים לא יקפצו בטרון. אבי? נו, איפה הפקה? מה קורה עכשיו? אבי? קצת מוזיקה.
I want to take the opportunity to thank the government of Israel for promoting Israeli science. I believe that we have a lot to contribute. I'm not alone. I represent here a very prolific and diligent community, many friends and colleague scientists in the audience here, and a lot of guests from abroad. We are well networked in the world. And I believe that Israel can be a great promoter of world energy challenges. And thanks to very prolific work from the ministries, energy, prime minister, science. So I think that we can really promote Israeli science and contribute a lot to the challenge of smart mobility and electromobility. And thank you very much.
Prime Minister, Minister of Science and Technology, Ministers, the Samson family, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. We are living in a world that is in need of technological innovations. The global warming is a must-win battle for mankind. We need to embrace new ideas and encourage technologies to evolve in parallel. Neste, with myself and the team, has transformed itself building on strengths developed in traditional oil refining. Now we convert the broad range of renewable waste streams into highest quality advanced fuels, saving more than 8 million tons of carbon dioxide annually. We are still on the learning curve, continuously looking for creating new responsible solutions. I want to thank the Council of Finnish Academies for the nomination, the Board of Trustees for selecting me and the team as industrial innovators for receiving the prize, and especially my team in its entity for all the good work we have done together. It's a great honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am honored here so much to invite the men who launched 7 years ago, who envisioned, who launched the Fuel Choices and Smart Mobility Initiative, the men behind everything that we do every day and behind this whole event, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, 7 years ago, I called up my friends Sheila and Eric Sampson. I think they were in South Africa. And I said, we have to change things. We have to free the world of the stranglehold of oil. And the biggest use of oil is in transportation. So we have to work on changing transportation. And I said, Eric and Sheila, I don't want much of you. Just $1 million prize a year in perpetuity. And you know what they said? Took them about 60 seconds. They said, okay. I should have asked for 2 million, but this is Eric and Sheila Sampson. They're extraordinary human beings, extraordinary people with tremendous hearts, tremendous minds, tremendous love of Israel, and a tremendous commitment to a great future. And I start with them with a hope for Eric's health. And Eric, I hope we see both you and Sheila here next year. So please get well and come and join us. We need you. Yuval Steinitz, the Minister of Energy, is here. Yuval did some of his own work to reduce our dependence on oil. I think 60% of our electricity a few years ago was based on oil, and now it's half, 30%. It's one of the quickest declines in the world. That's a decline that is really a rise. Ophir Akunis, the Minister of Science and Technology, you've just seen him. You said that an Israeli should receive the prize. You asked, and it happened, and for good reason, well deserved. Dr. Anat Bonstein, who's chairing the Prime Minister's office, Fuel Choices and Smart Mobility Initiative. Greg Myzel, who's the Director General of Chaeronea, and all the distinguished guests and government officials and business leaders who are here. So I want to welcome you to the 6th Prime Minister's Conference on Annual Smart Mobility. I think this is the largest summit we've had. It includes over 1,000 visitors from abroad, representing more than 35 countries. So what is smart mobility? Well, I'll put it this way. Your children, definitely your children's children, are not going to believe that we were moving around in such a clunky way. There's no way that they'll believe that it would be for them like the horse and carriage, like the buggies that people used to drive. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that we in Israel first believed that we should invest in the traditional car industry. And we did. We actually had a car made in Israel. I remember it 50 years ago when I was a young soldier and later an officer in my unit, and we were given a car. It was called Susita. That means horse. Any of you remember? You're not that old. Well, it was made of fiberglass. One day, I leaned on it. My elbow went right through, and the fibers really hurt. And of course, we failed miserably. We couldn't compete in scale, not on chassis or engines or tires, and it failed. Now, 50 years later, cars are changing. Soon, very soon, it'll be 85% of the cost of a car will be software and its derivatives. And that means that it's basically a car is becoming a computer on wheels. Now we can compete, and we do. We have about 500 startups that deal in autonomous vehicles and related technologies. And we've become one of the 2 or 3 great centers of this new technology in the world because it's all about big data, connectivity, and AI. And the nexus of the 3, and there we're producing new industries. It's happening in cyber. By the way, important for this too, as you know. It's happening in digital health, it's happening in precision agriculture, it's happening in everything, but it's happening big time in the question of smart mobility. So what is smart mobility? Well, let's see. Does it make sense for you to buy this big Hulk, weighs several tons? 95% of the time you don't use it. It takes up space. it guzzles gas, it pollutes the atmosphere, you're stuck in congestion especially in rush hours, and there are plenty of those. You could get hurt, and you do. Unfortunately, people die in this. And you can strain your back or your backside, whatever. This doesn't make sense. So that's going to change. It is changing in a big way because of big data, artificial intelligence, and connectivity. And we can go well beyond Uber here, well beyond Uber. We can go to something that is so efficient, much safer, doesn't pollute. We want to electrify this, and will get people where they want. You'd be calling your preferred AI assistant. You say, "Get me my car now," or you could say, "I tried that as prime minister. It never works." You could say, "Well, no, in 17 and a half minutes," or you won't have to say anything because it's in your schedule that's uploaded already. And it connects to the cloud and down, and you know all that. It's a question in my mind whether we're going to have deluxe capsules, but we'll have capsules. And it'll move around. And some people will want to drive a horse and buggy, same style. That could happen, that's okay. That market will still be there. But most of us will move around. Most of us in our lifetime will move around. Not in our lifetime. Most of us will move around very soon, in an entirely different way. And here's the thing. We in Israel are not only interested in making these inventions, we want to be not only the first to invent, we want to be the first to use. Now listen to me carefully. First to use. We want all this technology to be tried here, to be broken, it's like breaking in a horse, to be broken into use here. And this morning, we received an offer from a very big company, in fact, an association of companies, who want to begin this right here in Tel Aviv. And I invite all of those represented here, and all those who are listening to me, in other companies, in other countries, come to Israel now because smart mobility is here. That's the future. The future is here, and the future is here in Israel. You should applaud for this. I mean, this is important. I believe that it won't take us very long. I think that the rate of pace, the pace of change is moving. Initially, people didn't believe the car companies would get into it. They believed there were other impediments. What is happening now is that all of this is accumulating and moving very, very fast. And there is no reason why we shouldn't do the effort on our part in regulations and facilities and infrastructure and all the things that have to be done. We'll do it because we're absolutely committed to this. We're now, a few years ago, about the same time I called Sheila and Eric, I read a book on cyber. It was given to me by one of our preeminent scientists, and it was a novel. It was about a cyber war between two superpowers. You could guess who they are. They never fight. And I read it, and I said, couldn't stop reading it. Read it all night, into the next day. Took off half a day of work to finish it. Then I called him in and I said, this is it. We have to be a cyber power. We can't afford not to be there. And I set a goal that in 5 years, we would be among the top 5 cyber powers in the world. 5 years later, it's now 7 years later, I can say we're not in the top. We're not number 5. I'd say we're in the top 3, and I tell you we're not even 3rd. Now this means that we can accomplish things. We can do things. And you know how important cyber is for mobility and for everything else. We can do things. We have brilliant people. But the most important thing that we have is brilliant people who want to partner with brilliant people and who are eager to share their ingenuity, their spark of genius with others in this country and around the world. We're changing the world. So I want to invite all of you to join our awardees who represent great minds here in Israel and in Finland, and congratulations to you. But I have two messages for you today. They're very brief. The first is to the people in Israel, we're going to continue to innovate. And to everyone else outside of Israel, partner with Israel. It makes tremendous sense. It makes damn good business. And the last thing is this. Because of Israel's success, because of Israel's growth as a global technological power, we are reaching out to a lot of countries. Our position in the world has changed. Our diplomatic horizons are expanding beyond belief, very fast. Last week, the Vice President of China was here for 3 days. 3 days. We have, before that, we had the Prime Minister of India was here for 4 days. I went to reciprocate for 4 days. The Prime Minister of Japan was here, Abe. In a few years, the Japanese investments in Israel grew by 44 times. Something very big is happening in Israel. The same thing we're seeing in our contacts because of technology, because of the ability to change the world. Water, health, agriculture, IT, transportation, every field. Because of this, countries around the world, in Asia, in Africa, in Latin America, all those countries are coming to Israel. And the reason I'm telling you that is that I have to leave this right now because a small country of 207 million people is interested in cementing ties with Israel. Its recently elected president, as of yesterday, is waiting for a phone call from me in about 6 minutes. I'd like to have that market open up to Israel too. The whole world is coming to Israel, so should you. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Venture of smart mobility. Please welcome Mr. Ophir Akunis, Israel's Minister of Science and Technology.
Toda. Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu is not here anymore. Minister Yuval Steinitz, Minister of Energy and Water Resources, Secretary of Government, Tzachi Braverman, Greg Myzel, Director, Chaeronea Saad, Anat, the Honorable Prize winners, Doron and Lars, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. Well, we just heard the Prime Minister. It is not a secret anymore. We can say out loud, Israel is the eighth wonder, a brilliant mixture of knowledge and creativity which paving the way forward. Together we can change the world. Actually, we are changing the world. We are changing the world in Asia. We are changing the world in Europe. We are changing the world in Latin America, which I have visited this past February. Next week I will participate in the first international China import exposition that will be held in Shanghai. We will officially open the Israeli pavilion of the conference, and I will sign, together with the Chinese minister, the 5th MOU that will strengthen the bond between the two countries. In the past 3 years, we have enhanced the scientific cooperation with countries all over the world. We signed new agreements based on scientific foundation with China and India, Brazil and Argentina, United Kingdom, Russia, Japan, Vietnam, and many, many more. And everywhere, my colleagues around the world ask me, what is your secret? How do you do it? What makes Israel so good in the field of innovation? And my answer is simple. Actually, it's very simple. Education, education, education. My policy as a Minister of Science and Technology is to invest today in the leaders of tomorrow. I'm proud to say that we have increased the budget of research to the peak of all times. And what else? Community programs, mentorship programs for young female scientists, summer camps, and after-school activities throughout the year. And above all, the Science Basket program. Actually, this program expanded this year and reached up to 90 of the municipalities in Israel. This enables them to customize their scientific orientation according to the needs of their population. They can choose what to focus on: robotics, cybersecurity programs, chemistry, or other fields. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we invest in the future, and it's the best investment. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Science and Technology is proud to participate in awarding the Prime Minister's Prize for Global Innovation and to celebrate these two great scientists and their research. It's a great honor for me to be the Minister of Science and Technology of Israel, a nation that look forward with government support toward a brighter future. I take pride in the ministry's commitment to the field of alternative fuels. The need to develop alternative fuels sources is clearer now than ever. I couldn't wish for a better partner in this critical mission than Eric and Sheila Sampson, who have made this all possible through their contribution to the Prime Minister's Prize. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our history as a people and a nation taught us that knowledge is strength, and when we used properly, you can make the impossible possible. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. תודה רבה לכם, and greetings from Jerusalem, וברכות לזוכים. תודה רבה.
Thank you, Minister Akunis. I would like to call to the stage Dr. Yuval Steinitz, Minister of Energy.
Mr. Prime Minister, that had to leave, Minister Akunis, my colleague, the two winners of this important prize from Finland and from Israel, dear guests. The two polluting fuels in the world are coal and oil. And in order to defend ourselves against global warming, and in order to create better surrounding and better atmosphere, we have to terminate the use of polluting fuels altogether. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu emphasized, we want not just to participate or to pioneer the development of new technologies and new innovations, but we want also to be among the first to implement those new developments and innovations. The main reason for this is not economics, although it's also beneficial from economic point of view, but our commitment to Israel's future, to the world future, to future generations, to stop polluting the air and space and ground around us. And we already started, not just innovating, but also implementing. As the Prime Minister said, we already, in the electricity production, we already shifted in the last 3 years from coal to natural gas and renewables. 3 years ago, 60% of our electricity was produced with coal. and the level of air pollution was really staggering. Today, in 3 years, we reduced coal in our electricity production from 60% to less than 30% this year. Hence, we can notice for the first time in decades that air pollution is being reduced gradually in the last 2 years. Our plans are very clear. Just 2 weeks ago, we came out with a new plan, a new vision. 2030, we called it. And the aim is to totally terminate the use of any kind of polluting fuels 12 years from now. In 10 years from now, or maybe even less, we are going to terminate the use of coal in Israel. In 20 years from now, we are going to terminate the use of oil and all kinds of derivatives like diesel, gasoline, and so on in Israel. According to this new plan, the main source of energy will be electricity, but electricity will be produced with either renewables or natural gas. In order to achieve this also in transportation, not just in electricity production and industries, we need better storage. We need to develop batteries and storage systems that are more efficient, less costly, that will enable us to store electricity in electric cars, in electric buses, but also in our power stations, in our electricity generation system. And therefore, we are very happy and encouraged by the development in the world and also in Israel. One of the prize winners today is focusing exactly on this, on new kind of batteries, more efficient and less costly batteries that will enable us to continue to lead this revolution. Technology and science can serve people, and unfortunately, technology and science can destroy people. Pollution around the world, and also here in Israel, actually, also created by technological science. We can produce electricity, we have cars and buses and trucks, this is technologies, it's all about technology, and we are polluting the air that we breathe, and we are destroying our own future with technological progress of the past. Therefore, we have to be very keen to use science and technology, not just to develop the world, but also to minimize, rather than increasing, threats, including global warming and pollution. And that's exactly what this evening, what this prize, what this effort is about. To continue and to enhance scientific progress and technological progress, but this time focusing on improving our future, not just developing our economics and life and technology nowadays, but doing it in a way that we won't destroy it, but rather improve climate and the global surrounding. So the fact that Israel is among the leaders in the world in smart mobility, in electric cars, in new kind of energy and energy efficiency, we are very proud of it. But of course, we need a global cooperation, and I think that we have good reasons for it, because we can already notice the damage of global warming, and therefore global cooperation in science, innovation, and also implementation is badly needed than ever. So thank you very much for being here tonight and joining this effort to improve our world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yuval Steinitz. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Greg Myzel, Director of Chaeronea.
Good evening, Erev Tov, 2 government ministers and a prime minister. It's almost the stuff that you could make a movie about. But if the distinguished people in this room ever needed proof of the seriousness that this country and this government takes in finding a substitute for oil, then we've certainly seen it here this evening. Because tonight is not only about making the world a better place, it's about making Israel a better place. And as the CEO of Keren HaYesod, it's not just a logo on the screen behind me, it is an organization with a 100-year history, indeed making Israel a better place through our social programs and social initiatives, enabling the elderly to live in dignity, dealing with youth in the periphery, youth who come from disadvantaged homes but do not have disadvantaged minds. And we export these programs throughout the entire world. So if Israel is the startup nation, Keren HaYesod is at the forefront of philanthropic startup. And how do we do it? It's all about the people. One project, one person. And there is no better example of this than Eric and Sheila Sampson. True leaders, amazing philanthropists, and with a tireless passion for Israel, Israel's survival, and Israel's growth. Eric and Sheila, I share the sentiment of our Prime Minister, Eric, who wished you good health. And we, from Tel Aviv, continue and send you our best wishes for good health. Your acts of generosity are boundless, covering the breadth of this very country in health, in the periphery, and with youth. In fact, there is not one facet of Israeli society not touched by your amazing acts of kindness and generosity. And all this with an amazing sense of modesty and of humility. Eric, you once said to me that you believe you're just an ordinary guy. So to you, Eric, and Sheila, and to the entire family who are listening to us at present, I say to you that you may consider yourselves ordinary, but you are involved in doing extraordinary things. We congratulate you. We congratulate this year's award winners. And Keren HaYesod is proud to stand together with you all on this most extraordinary initiative. Good evening and B'tei Avon.
Bear with me just a couple of minutes more before dinner. I want to take you behind the scenes of our campaign for this summit. Our campaign was based upon the magicians of the past: Kirkpatrick, Macmillan, Benz, Bell, even Columbus, who made it to the New World without using Waze or GPS. They're the inspiration for today's inventors. What we wanted you to feel is that when you're walking here, you're walking into a Hall of Fame. And this Hall of Fame is your place. You are part of this Hall of Fame because you are the magicians. You are the inventors of today that are able to foresee the future and what the future needs. I'm very excited to stand here after 6.5 years after the Prime Minister launched this national program and say that we have gone a long way. We have accomplished a lot of missions. You might have heard our accomplishments throughout the day or in different lectures and events. But what I want to emphasize today is I'm proud of the community that we made here, the global community of researchers, of companies, of entrepreneurs, a big, big ecosystem and community of smart mobility here in Israel. Now, as for this event, when I go across the world, suddenly people speak of the Smart Mobility Summit. It kind of is like gotten the idea of it like the Davos Autotech. I think it's a good, maybe we should go with that next year, the Davos Autotech. Anyways, look around you. I mean, look around you. How do we know this is the best summit there is? Because there are tens of delegations and thousands of attendees. And yes, we've gotten a long way with that. Can I have a spotlight on the audience, please? Spotlight on the audience. So I just wanted you to know, just look around. We have here guests, delegation from China, from Japan. A big delegation from India, from Korea, from Colombia, from Singapore, from almost every country in Europe, from Russia, from the US, from South America, from Canada. Let's give them a round of applause for coming here. Now, we are here tonight celebrating magic. Come on, guys, come on. Just a second. They're not used to going on stage. They're a little shy, but come on, come on. As I said this morning, we, the government, are the enablers. But we're not alone here. This is my team, but we're not alone here. And now, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of our governmental partners. So on this occasion, I will ask them to stand up. Please, all, I know I put you somewhere there, and there's a couple of more here, so come on, stand up, everyone. All of our governmental programs. So, we, and all the guys that are standing up, guys and gals, of course, standing up, we devote our everyday life to making the globe a better place, for doing good for Israel. This is what being a civil servant is all about, serving your country. And we do it not just in this occasion. This is our everyday work. And I want to say thank you to all our partners. We love working with you. Sometimes it's challenging. Most of the time, it's joyful. And also, I would like to thank specifically for this event, Chaeronea. Chaeronea, you're a great partner. And Minister Akunis and your team, and Minister Steinitz and your team, you both have wonderful teams that we work with on an everyday level. And above all, this evening could not have been gone without the Samson family. So I want to take this opportunity and say to Eric and Sheila, I stand here again now for the second year, and I am so excited about this unique evening. Look around you. I want you to try to feel the magic, all the visionaries, all the global leaders, all of the industry players here tonight because of you, Eric and Sheila. And I am very proud to be standing here tonight. So I hope you feel what I feel today, but it's true magic. And let's toast for that and enjoy the evening and dinner.